3 minutes.
It's okay.
If you have not disappeared from here, I will move you by force.
It's okay.
3.
It's okay. We are at the residence of one of the presidential candidates, Robert Chagulanyi, who is contesting on the National Unity Platform flag. This is his residence. It has been under surveillance by police ever since the campaigns ended. That was on the 13th of January. We have been informed that we must leave this place. That is the order that we have gotten from police, and indeed we must vacate as they have ordered us to go. And they are saying we cannot access him today, and so we have to leave. And above his residence, there has been surveillance since he came back from the campaign trail, where there is a drone that flies above his residence, and you can see it's quite a formidable force around here. It is to deter him from leaving his residence, just in case he wants to do so. And we have also been told that we cannot access him today, and thus we should go back, meaning he's not supposed to be receiving visitors at his residence. We are going to abide by their orders. We've been given 3 minutes to leave this very place, and you can see also here on this side, the police have already blocked the route to his residence, meaning no more vehicles allowed to pass for the moment, and it's not clear when they will be allowing people to get here. But this is likely to happen until the Electoral Commission chairperson announces the winner of the recently concluded presidential elections. Back to you in the studio. The situation, as you've seen, is quite tense in Magere.
All right. What is happening right now to Bobi Wine? And it's not normal, because news that is reaching here on Neo Africa is that Bobi Wine is under house arrest. Okay? Is under effective house arrest at his Magere home, and with heavy and police deployment outside. That's what's happening right now. You know, Bobi Wine's home in Magere, near Kampala, it is being said it has been surrounded by Uganda military and police with heavy security deployment around the compound. And this party said that this has left him effectively under house arrest, unable to freely meet with the campaign team and more about. Now, earlier on, his chief campaigner, I think his chief campaigner or deputy, was arrested. This is the clip here. And this shows how there is a lot of intimidation in Uganda. The election of Uganda is not free and fair as we think. Now, let me talk about this, because power loves confusion. That's the reality. The government says that he is not under house arrest, okay? But the fact says armed soldiers outside his gates, police vehicles are there. It is something that we have seen before. We have seen on the other election, we have seen with the Kiza BCJ, and it's normal scenes happening in Uganda. People are taking it normal, but this is not democracy. I don't believe that much in democracy, but at least democracy gives people chance, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, you know. And during this hard time, the election time, Bobi Wine is the opposition leader who has a lot of followers. So intimidating a leader, people believe in him, like 30% and above up to now believe in him. That's so bad. So this is not just about Bobi Wine. This is not even just about Uganda, but this movement matters because it exposes how power behaves when it feels threatened. Uganda is in the middle of tense election period. You know, allegation of ballot stuffing, reports of violence, there's an internet shutdown going on, opposition agents are detained. And instead of transparency, the state response is militarizing. Okay? And that tells you something. It tells you something. When a leader or when leaders are confident in their legitimacy, they do not need soldiers to an opponent house. Okay? Now, Uganda government is trying to install fear. And let's talk about fear. Because if Bobi Wine had no influence, if the youths did not support him, if his message wasn't resonating, then there would be no military presence. Power only suppresses what it fears. And the Ugandan state fears the youth. The Ugandan state fears urban voters. The Ugandan state fears independence media, social media narrative, and etc., etc. Okay? Above all, they fear losing power. Okay? Or they fear loss of control. Because once people realize that they outnumber fear, the game changes forever. And that's why they are putting all this suppression here and there. Now, under Yoweri Museveni, Uganda has been ruled for decades by just one political leader or one political structure. And the long rule creates one dangerous illusion. The country and the state are the same thing. So when leaders rule for too long, they stop seeing opposition as competition and start seeing it as rebellion. So right now, Museveni is taking Bobi Wine as a rebel. You know what I mean? So that's how what happens. And that's when elections become rituals, not choice. Security forces becomes political tools. Stability becomes an excuse of repression. And anyone who challenges power is treated as an enemy of the state. Now, let's talk about something people outside Africa often underestimate. It is internet shutdown, And shutting down the internet, we have talked about this. It's not just about security. It's about the narrative control. They want to control the narrative. When the internet goes dark, videos of violence don't circulate. Vote counting can't be verified. Citizens' journalism is silenced. Fear spreads faster than truth. And this is modern authoritarianism. It is clean, quiet, undeniable. And Uganda is not alone on this. The tactics has been across Africa. It has been used across Africa. Okay? Now, the important part is that Uganda is truly a young country, and the majority of population are young people, and that alone terrifies the standing power structure, because young people have no memory of liberation war. Young people do not feel emotional loyalty to all the leaders. Young people speak global language. Young people compare governance across borders. They don't ask who saved us, but they ask who is serving us right now. And Bobi Wine represents that generational question. History teaches us one thing. Every system that relies on force instead of consent eventually collapses. Not immediately collapse, not dramatically collapse, but first comes fear, then comes silence, and then comes resistance. So Uganda is standing at the crossroad right now as we are speaking right now. The fear, the silence, will come resistance one of the time. So to Ugandans watching this inside the country and in the diaspora, understand this. Your struggle is not invisible. We are seeing. Your voice matters, okay? Power wants you to feel alone. Power wants you to feel small. But this is the oldest lie in history. To African countries across the continent, what is normalized in one country becomes a blueprint for other. If military intimidation is during election is accepted, then in your country, just wait for it. And that's why this movement matters beyond borders. We need to stand with Uganda. We need to reflect what's happening there and say, you know what? We don't want this in our country. So the news is that Bobi Wine is under house arrest during this critical moment. So I don't know what will come up, but we are praying in all things go well, okay? And yes, we'll meet with another episode about this.